All right. Good evening, amazing UTG student. And when I looked around, I realized that we had the support of the police. I really appreciate you all for coming to ensure that there is controlled behavior over here. And greetings to my wonderful gentleman. How are you? Yeah, and I really appreciate the opportunity given to me to stand in front of you to go through my policies. But before I go on to that, I would like to sincerely apologize for coming late. And this is because the election process fell in a situation where we're having exams. And as a medical student, it's indeed not easy, but because I deemed it fit to serve, I left immediately after my paper to come to ensure that you all hear the plans I have for you all. And moving on, before I deliberate, I would like to clear, debunk, and nullify an ongoing agenda that I, being a fourth-year medical student, have no right whatsoever to serve as your next information and communication minister. I stand on truth, fact, and not via assumption. I am the current information and communication minister of the oldest school in UTG, previously serving as an information and communication ministry committee member. And in the year 2022, I earned a diploma in computer science, information, communication, and technology, giving me the ability to be able to do excellent graphic designing, excellent video editing, and data analysis. These are very prerequisite and essential skills that as information and communication minister should possess. And when I talk about graphic design, I don't talk about anyhow kind of graphic design. I literally can utilize almost any software presented to me, ranging from Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Canva, you name it, PowerPoint, and even poster my wall, right? This shows you that whatever happens, let's say, for example, UTG Students Union Executive happen to have a program in the provinces, and I don't go with my laptop, I can utilize any skill to ensure that information is disseminated. This is what we call availability, sensible creation, innovation. I want to really appreciate you all for coming here. It shows a great spirit of the UTG student, and I'm honored by it. Moving on, I want to also elaborate that I happen to be the person to introduce the first ever Utgsu newsletter. This is not assumptions, and it was introduced in the year 2023 because of its impact, because of how important it is. From 2023 up till date, it has been updated every month. This is for the month of March. Consistency, not lies. Up till date, we utilize it. This shows you that as an information and communication minister, you should be ready to work hard. And I'm telling you for a fact, I'm ready and dedicated to serve you all with all my heart. Moving on, I also happen to design the first ever broadcast system in the school, ensuring that no student is left uninformed. We have sometimes important information as regards to scholarship opportunities. Many students complain about it. I didn't see the message. It was crowded in the group. But because of my interest in ensuring that no student missed this certain information, I created the excellent broadcast system. On this note, I would like to remind you all, serving as your information and communication minister is not faculty-based. It is based on impact, and on that impact, I stand tall. I would like to take you through my policies. First of my policies is introducing the first ever UTGSU by monthly newsletter. If you remember, I mentioned that I introduced the first ever by newsletter in Utgsu, and we operate it every month. So doing it at UTGSU 2 months is not going to be a problem. Moving on is to ensure that I organize capacity building training. I am not somebody who is new into capacity building. I have been organizing several capacity building from my first year in the medical school for the UTG students far and beyond. I am not somebody who is going to come and promise you what I'm going to do when I come in office. I'm already doing it. I am not doing it because, oh, it is close to elections. I have been doing it. And this is what I promised the UTG students. We organize several capacity building trainings, but one thing I want to make you understand is that it's really not that impactful, because let's say we organize once in the whole of the tenure. I am ready to organize as much as possible, at least even if it is once every quarter. Computer skill is a very vital skill every UTG student will have, irrespective of whatever you're studying. And being somebody who is skilled in computer science, I'm going to work in collaboration with the Information Communication and Technology School to ensure that you all have the skill you need. I stand on impact and what? Not noise. Moving on. Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Good. Take a look. They were certified. They were educated. They were impacted. That is what you need. Move on to the next slide. I want to ensure that I inform you all that we are going to introduce, if given opportunity, the first ever UTCSU manual booklet. I've interacted with many new students. They find it difficult to navigate their way in the UTG. And as your Information and Communication Minister, I find it very important to ensure that no new student find it difficult to navigate their way in UTG. This is just a prototype of how the front page will look like. I am not somebody that is going to come and tell you what I cannot do. This is what I can do. It is achievable and it will be done by the grace of God. Moving on. Yeah, next slide. Strengthening the communication and strengthening the communication system of UTG and supporting member students. I am a student who has observed literally almost every UTG student that is on the online space that is trending. I've looked at the different talent that we have. I understood that the function of the Information and Communication Minister, according to Section 20, upholding a good image of the UTGSU, it goes way beyond informing people about just UTGSU activities. Why not we repost people who are doing excellently well in the UTG? This way, they have the opportunity to be seen globally. This way, they have the opportunity to be given the platform to do excellence. A good image of the UTGSU is what I stand for, and that is what I'm bringing on board. Working on the current excellence of the Information and Communication Minister, they have been doing well. A track record of excellence. I am not going to bring the bar down, but I'm going to ensure that the bar is raised even higher. I mentioned that I am somebody who is skilled at editing videos. I am not a novice in this. If you want to know about this, go to the Utgsu page and see the exploit that we have been doing. I want to really appreciate you all for listening to me keenly. Moving on to the next slide. Digital amplification of the UTGSU radio talk show. I want you all to understand that in this very time and age, most people don't listen to radio talk show. But one thing that I noticed as an Information and Communication Minister is this. The moment we started digitally amplifying the radio talk show by recording clips of this radio talk show that we have done severally, this is not new. This has been happening way before the time of elections. You can go to our page and verify. If we record clips of these radio talk shows, we ensure that people don't miss the information of what was discussed on the radio talk show. And most importantly, if you have some information that you're like, oh, I didn't hear this, you are like, since I listened to just 3 minutes, 4 minutes of this clip, let me listen next time when they are coming. It gives you that anticipation to want to listen to our radio talk shows. This is what I'm bringing on board. Next slide. This is consistency. This gentleman, I really appreciate him. He's serving as my committee member. We have organized several radio talk shows every blessed week since we started office in Utgsu. Every blessed week. Consistency, not noise. Every blessed week. This shows you that I am a leader that understands how to designate responsibilities to different of my committee members, giving them the opportunity to grow, like this gentleman standing in front of you, giving them opportunity to share their skills and show people that what they can do. Every blessed week. We have more flyers. Go to our page, you will see it. Yes, next slide. Revamping the niche UTGSU annual magazine for quality. I understood as a computer specialist working in a cyber cafe where they print journals, where they print magazines, where they print several flyers and all of this. I understood the difficulty that lies in creating a magazine. Compilation of information. You cannot wait until the end of the year and say you want to start compiling information. But innovation of the newsletter is basically going to be compilation of this newsletter. And it's not going to be a difficult thing. Somebody that has done it before is ready to do it. You guys, this is the person. Victor, you should vote in office. Next slide. Career guidance program and alumni mentorship. This was the last career guidance program we organized at Utgsu. with the first ever female president of our sub-association. One might ask, Victor, is this not the function of the Education and Research Minister, but as your Information and Communication Minister, I deem it fit to ensure that you all are informed of life even after university. And this is going to be in collaboration with Honorable Keita when given opportunity to serve as your next Education and Research Minister. And then, I want to make this clear. If you notice all of my policies, I am not mentioning anyone that I don't have idea on handling. I'm mentioning things that you need and things that can help you and things that I have done. And to make you more understand this is not about teaching you how to be a better medical student or a better business person. It is going to be a career guidance for people who have gone through the same UTG like ourselves, explaining to you things that affect every single student, irrespective of what you study. Let's take, for example, an excellent barrister coming to tell us how to stay on the right side of the law. It helps you. Career guidance is important. Let's take, for example, a business tycoon coming to tell you from UTG, this is how you can act, even for the fact that you are a doctor, you can be better this way in finance. That is the kind of career guidance program I'm talking about. Next slide, please. Strengthening the UTG SJDM campus radio and online TV. As a leader who understands the importance of continuity, I had a good communication with the current Information and Communication Minister, Honorable Amadou, and he told me that they have been pursuing on how to ensure that this particular online TV and radio talk show is functioning. It's currently not functioning, and if you check, we run 2 different radio talk shows at Unigamse level. We run one at Paradise FM, we run one at QTV. But I'm like, if we have an amazing school like this, why don't we utilize it? So I want to ensure that where he stopped, I continue pushing forward to ensure that it is functioning. By the grace of God, it will be functioning. And some association, you don't need to go all the way out to organize your shows. And this is what we talk about, utilizing what we have for sustainability. Next one. A better and more informative website. I bring it to you all that the UTGSU website is not just for posting some flyers. It's not just for posting some flyers. Like I mentioned, the manual booklet will be in the website. When it is done, it's going to be both e-copy and hard copy. Should in case there's financial constraint, we are going to ensure that we upload it on the website so that when you go to the website, you have some things to download that will help you. This is what we talk about, a more informative website. I understand what it means to have the user interface excellence. I know how to do UI, UX. This is something that I understand, and I'm going to work closely. I've already started speaking with my honorable aspiring sport minister, Honorable Chairman. We are working on how we can update and make it more informative. I'm a leader that's interested in working behind the scene and coming to show you how it can be done. Next slide. Strengthening communication cohesion across sub-association. This is one of the most important policies because when I share information, before you get it, many times it goes through the sub-association IPROs. And if we organize a good cohesion program, this way we will avoid misinformation. This way we will ensure that the right information is getting to you at the right time. Next slide. I am not somebody that is new to UTS service. This was a policy organized and implemented by the current Information and Communication Minister. I was there to ensure that the program was successful. I'm not new to service. Remember, I close on this note. The office of the Information and Communication Ministry is not faculty-based, it's impact-based. And on that note, I stand strong. Thank you all very much. And once upon a time, you tell me, I am the current king of UTG. I don't want to deliberate on that because I know what you need is my skill on how to serve you better. Thank you all very much for listening. I really do appreciate. Vote for Victor, vote for coalition. Thank you very much.
Can we be seated, please? Can we be seated, please? Can we be seated, please?
I was so impressed when the welfare minister of the coalition boldly stood here and said, we need a better IPL, a well-oriented IPL. And deep inside her, she was like, Ibrahim Mbai, you are the one that is needed. Ibrahim Mbai need no introduction within the University of the Gambia. His contribution, his impacts has touched each and every single soul within the University of the Gambia. His contributions, his impact has touched each and every sub-association within the University of the Gambia. If you deny it, go and ask Utgsu in 2023. If you deny it, go and ask SJDM. If you deny it, go and ask Pajak. Honorable delegates, Ibrahim Mbai has been built from the solid of journalism, communication, and academic performance. He holds foundation in communication and journalism, certificate in journalism and communication, diploma in journalism and communication, and more importantly, currently pursuing his advanced diploma at Majak, the best institution within the University of the Gambia. This is a clear testament that this gentleman is built from commitment, resilience, competency, and the heart to serve within the University of the Gambia and beyond. Honorable delegates, in 2025, the Gambia Press Union, the body that authorizes and coordinates every journalist and communication experts within the University of the Gambia. In 2025, Ibrahim Mbai was nominated the youngest nominee of the Gambia Press Union. More importantly, where was his opponent? Where was his opponent? Where was his opponent? Ladies and gentlemen, beyond the boundaries of the Gambia, Ibrahim Mbai traveled all the way to China. Home of communication, home of digital media, home of journalism, and home of excellent service. With that knowledge, he is coming back to serve the University of the Gambia, to set the bar that nobody ever set within the University of the Gambia as him. Ladies and gentlemen, I was so disappointed when his opponent said he needs PowerPoint skills and he's a good graphic designer. Can he talk about graphic designer better than this one? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. Graphic designing is the most diminished part of communication as long as the University of Gambia is concerned. Honorable delegates, I hereby introduce you to Ibrahim Mbai, the most competent, the most resilient, the most committed, the one who wants to serve you to the ladder. Thank you so much.
Silas Jonathan once said, information is power, but when mismanaged, it damages. If my opponent is serving as an ICM of a sub-association, I am a president of a whole union. Therefore, in this year's UTGSU election, the most competent, the most available, the most reliable, the most experienced, the most exposed, and the most grounded information and communication minister in the University of the Gambia Students Union. Fellow students, the Information and Communication Ministry is the blood vessel that pumps blood across all other ministries. When it fails, the entire union collapses. Before I unfold the folding folder, permit me to take you a highlight of my policies. Policy number 1, information integrity and media literacy drive. Policy number 2, UTGSU website revitalization project. Policy number 3, UTGSU visibility and external engagement. Policy number 4, UTGSU quarterly digital newsletter production. Policy number 4, training of sub-association information and communication ministers. And policy number 6, know your union. Fellow students, standing before you today is a certified Gambian journalist working with the Alcamba Times as a national correspondent. served as former Information and Communication Minister of the Major Students Union, served as Deputy Information and Communication Minister of the Journalism Students Association, and currently serving as the President of the Major Students Union. Now my policies in detail. Fellow students, information integrity and media literacy drive. We live in a world where misinformation travels faster than the truth. It is only important students of the University of the Gambia are trained and equipped on media and information literacy skills to enable them interpret, analyze, and know how to consume information they receive online. As an advanced trained fact checker, currently working with InfoCheck the Gambia, I have already started engagement. As a proactive leader, I have engaged the management of InfoCheck, and it is just a matter of me to vote into office tomorrow to invite my opponent and other students to be taught on information integrity and media literacy drive. Introducing this information literacy training, we would establish the first ever fact-checking hub in the University of the Gambia, run by students to counter misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Fellow students, moving second to my policy is the revitalization of the Utgsu website. As your innovating Information and Communication Minister, I will restructure, re-strategize, and reorganize the Utgsu website. Currently working with the Alcamba Times, Gambia's leading digital news and production. I have already contacted our our manager, Usman Jah, and he is ready to ensure the Utgsu website is revitalized, restructured, and reorganized for students of the University of the Gambia to enable them to get information that they receive online. The University of the Gambia website has been dormant, inefficient, and inactive for the past years. As your next Information and Communication Minister, as a certified Gambian journalist, I will ensure there is collaboration with a seasoned website developer to ensure the website is re-strategized and reorganized, where we will have updates of the union and other key important documents to be kept there as a digital archive. Moving on, third on my policy is the UTG visibility and external engagement policy. Standing before you is not any yay candidate. I am a tested, trusted, and approved candidate. A certified Gambian journalist for that matter. Fellow students, with over 4 years of media experience, having worked with a TV that is already here, Fine TV Gambia, where I serve as a presenter and reporter. Fellow students, I will just contact Kekuda Cham, who is ready for my Information and Communication Ministry to sign an MOU with him to ensure UTGSU website is back. Not stopping from there, as a journalist who has interacted with seasoned media persons, I have already spoken to the editor-in-chief of Star TV and Star FM, Paul Steven Pereira, and he's ready to ensure we discuss for the UTGSU have an airtime in this media house. I must note with clarity and with conviction that the UTGSU right now has only one media partnership with Foria FM. It is inefficient, inactive for the past month. As your next Information and Communication Minister, I will not depend on only slots in media houses like JARTES and QTV, but establish partnership that will ensure university students have this platform where regularly they will go and have programs, as done in Seaman Law's time on Star TV, who was the Alliance Information and Communication Minister. Fellow students, let's move on. Fourth, on my policy is the UTGSU quarterly digital newsletter. As the first Information and Communication Minister of the Major Students Union, I was able to produce the first ever digital newsletter. And if you deny me, my president, His Excellency Adam Asane, is here. He can attest to the fact that I designed the first ever digital newsletter for the Major Students Union. Not stopping from there, currently, I serve as the editor-in-chief of the Journalism Students Association digital newsletter, whereby I've already published my first publication of the digital newsletter. If I can do it at Major, do it at SJDA, I see no reason why I can do it for the main union. Students of the University of the Gambia. Moving on, training of sub-association information and communication ministers. My work in the University of the Gambia do not start yesterday. Go and ask Edusa on the leadership of Musa Abba. Go and ask Edusa on the leadership of Comrade Ba. what I have done in 2023 and 2024 Edison Nationwide Tour. The results are out there and they are clear. Before my opponent thinks of coming or engaging in university politics, I've already served the University of the Gambia and the results are out there. So as your next information and communication minister, I will ensure that information and communication ministers of sub-associations are not only trained on dispatch writing and sharing. I will introduce 3 new things, which is 1, information verification, event branding, and what we call, communication crisis management. You will agree with me, sub-association at times classes among themselves, but it only takes an information communication minister that is journalistically aware, media grounded, and logically inclined to know that communication has a way to manage. I will introduce this 3 types of training for communication and information and communication ministers of sub-association on event branding, communication crisis management, and information verification. Fellow students, moving on. Final on my policy is know your union. You will agree with me. So many students in the University of the Gambia are disengaged on the union activities. Some do not even know that the University of the Gambia has what we call a legislative body. Some do not know the University of the Gambia has a judicial tribunal. Under my leadership, as a trained and certified Gambian journalist, currently working with the Alkama Times, I will ensure that students of the University of the Gambia are updated regularly on infographics, through videos, and of course, short highlights to indicate the students of the University of the Gambia. Fellow students, I had my opponent talks about video editing. Must I remind him, standing before you here today, is a certified Gambian journalist who edit videos and publish as news, not only for university people, but for the Gambia at large. Some of you who know Majak know that Majak is one of Gambia's leading media institutions. And having Lamin Bibara as my digital media lecturer, infographics is not new to me. Audio editing is not new to me. Video editing is not new for me. I am not standing here as a yay candidate. I am a certified, tested, and trusted candidate as your next information communication minister. To conclude, fellow students, I have served and delivered at Maja. I have served and delivered at SJDL. I am serving nationally, where I am keeping my opponent informed. If I'm keeping my opponent informed nationally, I see no reason why I can't keep you informed regularly, professionally, in the information verification system. Even those in deliberate denial know that I am the information communication minister in waiting. It is just because of democracy and the respect of democracy I am standing here today. If it was about competency, proven track record, and experience, I stand no. Nobody stands in my way. Somebody who has been internationally trained on media and information, traveled all the way to China. Fellow students, the results are out there, and I would like to end it here. Vote for UTG in the School Alliance for Change. UTG's longest standing political establishment, the most progressive, the most vibrant, and the most strategic, has been serving and will continue to serve. Under the leadership of His Excellency, President Ismail Fadera, the University of the Gambia, Eastern Union is on track. Therefore, I thank you for your undiluted attention while looking forward for your questions and answering them professionally with media grounded knowledge. Thank you, fellow students.
So yes, can we be seated please? Can we be seated please? Please, can we all sit down? These are not our chairs. These are not our tables. These resources belong to the Gambia College. We haven't paid our tuition fee to get these things, and we should be held responsible for any damages. Please, let us try by all means to maintain the image of the University of the Gambia. Please, let us be seated. Okay, and the next thing is, we can ask questions that are coming from the delegates. We are running out of time. So due to time constraint, questions coming from the delegate would not be asked. And then we would allow Mr. Ibrahim Mbai to ask his question to his opponent, Victor.
Yes, Mr. Victor, you talked about magazine, and as a journalism student, Mr. Victor, you talked about magazine. And as a journalism student who has done a course on magazine feature writing, I want you to tell me the 7 types of magazine and which best suit the University of the Gambia Students Union for your magazine.
I earlier mentioned, hello, wonderful Utgsu student. I earlier mentioned that I worked in a cyber cafe where we printed and edited several magazines. The Utgsu Student Union needs a magazine that is very informative, and that is what I promise the students. And I want you all to understand very importantly, right? I am interested in doing and producing what is best for the Utgsu. So, compilation of the newsletter I plan to introduce, we will get the best ever newsletter and also the best ever magazine needed for the Student Union. I don't need to tell you 7, I need to give you the best, and that is what I'm here for.
Please, can we be seated, please? Can we be seated, please? Let us avoid the booming and the talkings when they are asking their questions, please.
I have great respect for every single Utgsu student and great respect for Honorable Ibrahim. I literally heard you say you were planning on introducing your newsletter quarterly. But my question is this, right? Going through the Utgsu space, information are overcrowded. At the end of 1 month, you literally cannot tell what is going to happen in the next week. You literally cannot tell what has happened before. So why do you want to wait for a whole quarter to produce a newsletter? I understand you work in different places, but I proved to you that I introduced the first ever Utgsu newsletter, and it is updated every single month. Why do you have to wait for a whole quarter to produce your newsletter? Why not bi-monthly? Why not monthly? Why not in 3 months? Why must it be quarterly? Is it that you don't have the capacity, or you feel it's a burden to you? Explain to the student.
Must I remind you that record keeping is part of journalism, and my work as a journalist, I keep records. So the issue of keeping this information that are circulating online would take a lot of time. That would not take a lot of time. I have a committee, and I will have a deputy. We will just record and standardize everything to ensure we publish it properly. Thank you. Victor. Please, we have stated that clearly in our rules and regulations. Booings and such actions that incite violence would not be tolerated. Anyone found guilty shall be sent outside. We are not going to compromise anyone. Victor, I am a bona fide student of the School of Journalism and Digital Media. Currently, JSA has no online campus radio, has no online TV. And you've mentioned in your policies that you are going to strengthen the JSA online, campus radio and online TV. And there is nothing currently. How can you strengthen something that do not exist? I am confused.
Thank you very, very much, Ibrahim. I really appreciate it. As somebody who's interested in progress, and as somebody who's interested in working on what has been going on, I interacted closely with the current Information and Communication Minister. He highlighted that it's currently not functional, and I mentioned it clearly. But then if you go through my policy document, I mentioned that we are going to strengthen and introduce the utilization of the online School of Journalism, TV, and also the radio talk show. And I also want you to understand, right, if as Utgsu students we are more confident in linking with external partners and not interested in strengthening the one we have in Utgsu, then what kind of Utgsu are we talking about? And that is what I stand for. School of Journalism student, you should be interested in a leadership that is interested in ensuring that what you have is functional and what you have is utilized by the Utgsu student. That is what I stand for. Okay.
candidates to come. Can we please be seated? Please, please. We are begging you, can we please be seated? Yes. The convention has been smooth throughout, so we want to maintain that. We want to maintain decorum. We want to make sure the candidates are hard. Their manifestos are actually hard and understood. So we call on the finance ministers to come. Musa Abaji and Babu Marumbai. Can we be seated, please? Please, can we sit down? Please, can we be seated, please? Please, please. We are begging you, can we be seated, please? Please. Please, please. Yes, can we be seated? Can we be seated? Thank you. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Special greetings to the chairman and also to the entire electoral commission. I also want to use this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of the entire Progressive Solution is Salvation Coalition. Today, I introduce myself as the worthy candidate for the position of finance in this University of the Gambia Students' Union elections. The position of finance is an important one. It is one that almost all of the ministries within the union revolve around. And today, in order for all of these policies that are propounded by the different candidates here today to be a success, there has to be a prudent financial management system. This is my promise to the general students community and my promise to the University of the Gambia Students' Union. My name is Musa Baji. I am a third-year student at the School of Business and Public Admin, major in accountancy. I am an individual that has so much passion for anything that has to do with finance and accounting, as I am currently serving as a member of the 23rd Executive Council Finance Ministry. I am equally the finance officer of the Global Platforms University of the Gambia chapter. Within my school, the School of Business and Public Admin, there exists Ecomansa, and within Ecomansa there is a tutorial circle. I'm an active tutor in the Ecomansa tutorial circle, taking accounting-related courses such as intermediate financial accounting and accounting information systems. In the same Ecomansa there exists an advisory board. I am an active tutor. I am an active member of the advisory board that is responsible for giving advices to the Executive Council on the decisions that they've made and the decisions that they're supposed to make that the advisory board is aware of. Today, I also take pride in informing the general students body that I am a facilitator in financial literacy. I equally serve as a capacity building trainer for accounting softwares and database management systems. In the same capacity, I've not been only successful in impacting students within the University of the Gambia, but outside the University of the Gambia. But these are just track records that are relevant to the position that I am fighting for. But what I want to make clear is to highlight my engagement as a member of the 23rd Executive Council. In my engagement, I've been able to make keen observations with regards to the problems that are faced by the ministry and the problems that are faced by the University of the Gambia Students Union in entirety. Today, I want to make it clear that I am going to make and take reference from the most current audited financial statement of the union. Taking reference from the most current audited financial statement of the union, over 70% of the union's income consists of donations. This is a direct translation that the union is almost entirely dependent on donations to fund its activities, and this is a problem. It causes something that is known as donor fatigue, and if you know donor fatigue, you all should know that we should have a mechanism to make sure that we solve the issue around this problem. That is why I am introducing 3 new policies, 2 investment-centered policies and 1 operational efficiency policy. The other part of my policy document consists of already existing policies that I've made calibrations on. And I will start on the number 1 policy that I have in my policy document, which is none other than the introduction of the University of the Gambia branded merchandise and essentials. Number 2 on my policy is the incorporation of the University of the Gambia financial manual. Number 3 on my policy is none other than the utilization of the University of the Gambia campus farm. Number 4 on my policy is the 3-tier capacity building training of the University of the Gambia Students Union. Number 5 on my policy is the week-long, I repeat, the week-long University of the Gambia Students Union program. Number 6 on my policy is the financial literacy that is held by the Finance Ministry of the University of the Gambia Students Union. And last on my policy is the laptop support scheme. I will be taking into my policies one after the other for clarity. Number 1, which is none other than the University of the Gambia branded merchandise and essentials. This is not just an innovative policy. It is an innovative patriotic investment to make sure that we boost the main accounts of the union to enable the union to serve and fund its activities in its own capacity. We are not just going to make sure that we create UTG solidarity through branding and merchandising. We are going to make sure that we offer quality branded merchandise to not just students of the University of the Gambia, but faculty and staff. We are introducing the University of the Gambia branded merchandise items. These items include the branded UTG t-shirts, the branded UTG hoodies, the branded UTG 2-liter power jacket, and the branded UTG shirts. One thing I want to make clear to the General Students Committee of the University of the Gambia is that we've already started engagements with the partners that are relevant to making sure that this initiative is a success. We've engaged GAIPA and also some brand ambassadors or brand owners within this country that are willing to harness and make sure that this initiative is a success within not just the University of the Gambia, but a nationally recognized innovative initiative. Number 2 on my policy is the incorporation of the University of the Gambia financial manual. You know what I call it? I call the financial manual the financial constitution of the union. It is the financial constitution of the union in a sense that it is going to clear a stage for foundation and governance in finance. It is also going to clear a stage for procurement, recording of transactions, sub-associations and their provisions, and all other key details that should be necessary in the context within the financial manual that we have already started working on. And I also take pride in informing the General Students Body that we have drafted a sample of the financial manual. We have drafted 2 actually. One that is able to justify the contents within itself, and 2 which is a summary of all of the contents within the financial manual. We are not here to play. We are driven by purpose. Number 3 on my policy is the utilization of the University of the Gambia campus farm. I've heard from different sources that I am acting as a Minister of Agriculture and Environment. But let me tell you the rationale behind this initiative. reference from the University of the Gambia Constitution, Section 15, which highlights the functions of the Minister of Finance. Section 15, subsection 1E says it is the responsibility of the Finance Minister to strategize means for generating revenue for the Union, and that is the main reason why we are bringing the campus farm. The second reference is Section 55 of the University of the Gambia Amended Constitution. Section 55, which clearly states the sources of revenue for the Union. Section 55, subsection F, highlights that investment avenues should be leveraged as a space to create revenue for the University of the Gambia Students' Union. Remember, I have not mentioned the mastermind behind this initiative. The mastermind behind this initiative is not myself. It is none other than our agriculture and environment minister. It is none other than agriculture and environment minister of the Progressive Solution Initiative Coalition. This is a dual-purpose initiative because it is going to be in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and also the Ministry of Finance. In what sense? Because for the Ministry of Agriculture, it is going to be leveraged as a space for agricultural practices and research. But simultaneously, it is going to be used as a space that will be leveraged by the Finance Ministry of the 24 Executive Council to make sure that we create a passive income for the Union. That is not all that we have for you with regards to the campus farm. It is also going to serve as a testament of our commitment to investing in Gambian soil and contributing to national development. The aspect of the campus farm is going to test an agricultural investment to make sure that we create a passive income for the Union, because we know that the Union is almost entirely dependent on donations to fund its activities. We are driving our intentions and our aims and our visions from charity-based organization to a full funding union of the University of the Gambia. Number 4 on my policies is the 3-tier capacity building training. I want to tell you one rationale behind the capacity building trainings that are organized by the Finance Ministry of the Utgsu Students' Union. Historically, the capacity building trainings that are organized by the Utgsu were just for the finance ministers of some associations that are registered under the union. What we are going to do different, or the calibration that we've made with regards to the capacity building training, is to introduce a 3-day training, a 2-day training, and a 1-day training. A 3-day training for some association finance ministers, a 2-day training for the general student body, and a 1-day training for the committee members of the 24 Executive Council Finance Ministry. We are going to make sure that we foster inclusion as much as possible. We are here to make change, and that is what the Progressive Solution and Salvation Coalition is standing for. On number 5 on my policy is the mastermind of all the policies that I will have to state today. This policy is none other than the week-long University of the Gambia Trade Fair. I want to also commend the 23rd Executive Council on being the council that has initiated the trade fair, the first ever trade fair that has been hosted under the University of the Gambia Students' Union. But what we have observed and what we are going to do different with regards to the trade fair is to make sure that we introduce a week-long market experience by ensuring that it is not a trade fair that will just have the capacity of generating $500, $600, or $700,000. It will be a trade fair that has the capacity of generating millions of dollars in its own capacity. Last on my policies is the laptop support scheme. Today, we have a versatile University of the Gambia. There are different programs within the University of the Gambia. So with regards to the laptop support scheme, we understand that we have different students studying different programs. Today, a laptop that might be ideal for a student within the School of Information and Communication Technology might be different from the laptop that will be necessary for a student that is within the School of Agriculture and Environment. That is why we are introducing the two standard type of laptops to give students the choice to choose the laptop that best suits their needs. This is not all, because we want to amplify the impact. We want to make sure that I think I've seen my opponent's policies that he wants to raise the beneficiaries of the laptop scheme by 50%. That is just 15 people added to the beneficiaries of the laptop scheme. We are raising it to at least 50 beneficiaries of the laptop scheme. Lastly, thank you so very much. Lastly, I want to conclude by saying, if you want change for the University of the Gambia, if you want change for the problems that are faced by the students within the University of the Gambia, vote for Usman for president, vote for Sile for vice president, vote for Chelo, vote for Victor for ICM, vote for Asi for welfare, vote for Patrick for general, vote for Alengeta for education and visa, vote for Alif for environment and communications minister. All of the candidates are tested, verified, and proven. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Let us see that, please. Let us give the other candidate a chance to move. Let us be seated down, please. Please, let us be seated down. Please, we want him to start. Please.
Greatest investor of our time, Warren Buffett, states that the greatest investment that one can make is in you. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, the investment is in this room today. Section 15 of our very own Utgsu constitution does not ask for a finance minister who just speaks about transparency. It does not ask for just any finance minister who speaks about passion. It demands a finance minister who is experienced, a finance minister who is competent, a finance minister who is exposed, a finance minister who is accountable, a finance minister who is disciplined. Ladies and gentlemen, the man I'm about to introduce has picked every box and beyond. The 16th President of the United States of America states that, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend 4 hours to sharpen the axe. Fellow students of the university, while his opponents were drafting promises, this man has been in the field for 3 years, 3 solid years of professional experience sharpening the axe. Serving as the accountant assistant at Global Link Solution and Travel Agency, dealing with real accounts, real numbers, real money, and real responsibilities. Ladies and gentlemen, this man here is competent, he is connected, he is exposed, he is legit, he is tested, trusted, and approved. He has fought the finance ministry before in the 22nd Executive Council. He has Finance Ministry in the 23rd Executive Council. Clearly, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a candidate asking for a chance. This is a candidate returning to finish what they have started. Ladies and gentlemen, today I give you a visionary, a strategist, a builder, a man with iron discipline, a man with proven excellence, a man that is unopposed in caliber, a man that is unmatched when it comes to experience. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your honorable to be your finance lord, the one and only finance guru in this room, Mr. Money himself, Babukar Mbey.
Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, my opponent here stands here and quote in the UTGSU constitutions, but mistakenly quote from a wrong section in the University of the Gambia constitution, which he says is section 55. Our roles and responsibility as a finance minister is section 15 of the UTGSU constitution as amended. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, for far too long, section 15 of the USU Constitution has been treated as a list of tasks. Under my leadership as your next finance minister, I will ensure that section 15 represents a treaty of trust and honesty. When I hear that in the Constitution, section 15, I shall be accounted for every transaction, I hear that as a command to protect the sweat and sacrifice of every student who paid their union dues. Good day, fellow students, my fellow candidates, members of the High Table, and members of the 23rd Executive Council. My name is Babukar Mbey, a final year accountancy major from the School of Business and Public Administration, and also the finance minister candidate for the great team UTG Interschool Alliance for Change. In my leadership career, I have served within and beyond the University of the Gambia. I am currently working as a full-time accountant assistant at Global Link Solutions and Travel Agency. I serve in the UTGSU 22nd Finance Ministry as a committee member. Currently serving in the UTGSU 23rd Finance Ministry as a committee member also, where I participated, where I am part of the members of the Financial Correspondent Unit. These roles and responsibility have saved my ability to lead with strategic thinking and hands-on experience. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, I have drafted policies which are not just promises but solutions. My policies in highlight. Policy number 1, 50% extension of the laptop scheme. Policy number 2, staging of the mega trade fair 2.0. Policy number 3, reintroduction of the donor conference. Policy number 4, launching of the inter-school entrepreneurship training and pitching competition. Policy number 5, maintenance of the transparent financial reporting using QuickBooks. Policy number 6, capacity building for all sub-association finance ministry. Policy number 7, establishment of the Startup Incubator Advisory Board on the University of the Gambia. And the last but not the least, quarterly financial literacy sessions on public, personal, and business finance. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, my policies in detail. Policy number 1 entails 50% extension of the laptop scheme beneficiary. Many students in the University of the Gambia lack access to laptops, and that is limiting their academic performance, research, and digital skill development. Increasing this number by 50% will ensure that students have access to affordable laptops and also serve an investment opportunity for the union. Already, engagement have already been made with key suppliers that are willing to supply us with quality laptops at an affordable price. Policy number 2, staging of the mega trade fair 2.0. Trade fair serve as an avenue. Valuable opportunity for business promotion and revenue generation. The trade fair initiated, the 1.0 initiated in the 23rd Executive Council has generated a revenue of 958,000 for the council, and I am a proud member of the UTGSU Finance Ministry also contributed to the success of the trade fair as an organizing committee member. The Trade Fair 2.0 will be organized to bring along businesses, students, and entrepreneurs. And the proceeds made from this trade fair will be used to increase the subventions given to all sub-associations by 20%. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, policy number 3, reintroduction of the donor conference. This initiative was established by the 20th Executive Council Finance Minister under the visionary leadership of Mr. Mohamed Koka, an Alliance Finance Minister candidate. This was a platform that invites stakeholders, philanthropists of the Gambia, and also students and partners to discuss issues affecting students of the University of the Gambia, students of the University of the Gambia, and also to link students with experts and business experts and entrepreneurship. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, when elected as the Finance Minister of the 24th Executive Council of the Utgsu, I will collaborate with my president, the president of the people, by the people, and for the people, Mr. Ismaila Fadera, the only presidential kid as far as this UTSU election is concerned. We will invite Gambian philanthropists and stakeholders where we will discuss issues affecting students in the University of the Gambia and expose students to opportunities such as internship and scholarship opportunities. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, policy number 3. Policy number 4, establishment of the Startup Incubator Advisory Board. Many students in the University of the Gambia have innovative ideas but lack mentorship, training, and access to funding. Establishing this board will help to support students of the University of the Gambia and connect them with successful business entrepreneurs that can train them and mentor them and also guide them to get access to funding of their business projects. Engagement have already been made with key stakeholders. Key among them is Dr. Giajendu Tambedu, the Executive Director of TEDFOR, Mr. Babukar Saho, the Deputy CEO of Gambia Chambers of Commerce and Industry, and Mrs. Bidan Donde Gilem, the CEO and co-founder of the Hub, and many more. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, policy number 5, launching of the entrepreneurship training and pitching competition. Entrepreneurship is an important driver for innovation, job creation, and digital skill development. Establishing this entrepreneurship training will help to bring students from various schools in the University of the Gambia to train them on entrepreneurship, and also they will participate in a pitching competitions where cash prizes will be staked, and any winner that gets it will go for cash prize. And already we have secured an agreement. We have secured a verbal agreement with the Gambia Chambers of Commerce and Industries that are willing to train student entrepreneurs in the University of the Gambia and also serve as a judge in the UTGSU pitching competition 1.0. Policy number 6 is the maintenance of the transparent financial reporting system using QuickBooks. Transparency in financial reporting help to build trust, accountability, and proper management of union funds. The digital financial reporting transparency system was introduced in the 23rd Executive Council under the dynamic leadership of Mr. Mohamed, under the dynamic leadership of Mr. Lamin Drame, the Finance Minister of the 23rd Executive Council of the University of the Gambia Students' Union, and also an AI Alliance Finance Minister candidate. As a member of Financial Correspondent Units, these policies help us to trace every transaction of the union and also give access to the auditor to conduct his auditing process smoothly. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, policy number 7, which is the capacity building training of all finance ministers in the University of the Gambia. Many finance ministers in the University of the Gambia have little or no knowledge in preparation financial statement. This policy is brought to train all the finance ministers in the University of the Gambia on how to use accounting software and also financial Excel. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, to implement these policies, I will collaborate. To implement these policies, I will collaborate with Fintech Connect, where I serve as the compliance manager currently. We will train finance ministers of various sub-associations on how to use accounting software. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, the last but not the least policy number 8, quarterly financial registrations on public, personal, and business finance. Many students will ask, we are training Stop Association Finance Minister, but what about the university community at large? This policy will be implemented. We will roll out the Google form, where interested students will fill the Google form, and also we will select members that will participate in this quarterly financial registration. Fellow students, this policy will be implemented in collaboration with the Gambia Chambers of Commerce and the Gambia participants. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, in conclusion, to seek for the office of the Finance Minister is as to serve as the volunteer of the protector of our resources. A vote for Babukar Bai is an investment to accountability, not just to amend the UTGSU Constitution, not just defined by the UTGSU Section 15 of the UTGSU Constitution, but also an investment to a leadership that ensures every butut earn and spend will be directed to student welfare. Fellow students of the Gambia, of the University of the Gambia, vote for Babukar Bai as the 24th Executive Council Finance Minister. Thank you.
Can we be seated, please? Can we be seated, please? It is said that perfection is not a human quality, but with the adjustment of a few things, this convention is going to be perfect. The two things would be standing and the other thing would be moving. If you leave that direct, this convention is going to be a perfect one. So yeah.
Fellow students of the University of Gambia, Section 15 highlighted the responsibility of the Finance Minister. But let me remind you, Section 15, subsection 1, paragraph E, the Finance Minister is responsible to strategies, ways to generate income for the union. Mr. Musa Baji, tell us the only two investment portfolios that the unions have and their economic values.
I will need clarity on the question. You are talking about the two investment activities that the current University of the Gambia students does.
I repeat again. Tell us the two investment portfolios that the union has and their economic values.
Okay. Like I have indicated earlier, I am a member of the Unitary Executive Council's Finance Ministry. And I take pride in talking about that everywhere I go. But today, to answer the question that my opponent has just asked, he just asked the question which relates to what are the two investment activities that the current council is undertaking and their economic values. Number one investment is trade fair that I was just talking about. And the economic value of the trade fair is that it is providing 40% semester scholarship to the students within the University of the Gambia. And other investment activity that the University of the Gambia Students' Union is undertaking is the convocation gala dinner, because it is giving back to the students of the University of the Gambia. Thank you. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, today my opponent has indicated that he has served in 2 executive councils. And in the beginning of his deliberation, he highlighted that I made a mistake in quoting one of the sections in the University of the Gambia amended constitution, section 55. It is a great disappointment that my opponent doesn't know about the section 55 of the University of the Gambia Students' Union. But to my question is, in this era where organizations, including associations, are transitioning from reliant entities of sufficient establishments, why the donor conference? And how sustainable is the donor conference for the forthcoming executives, altogether putting the best interests of the students first?
To answer the question that I posed to my opponent, the two investment portfolios are the Treasury bill with Access Bank, the Treasury bill with Access Bank, and the laptop scheme. Thank you. And he asked a question about the donor conference. Already, we have already made an engagement with Gambian philanthropists that are willing to come and participate in the donor conference. This initiative. The donor conference will be introduced in collaboration of the President, Ismaila Fadera. We are engaged philanthropists that are ready to sponsor UTG students, that are willing. Question 2, Mr. Badi, name the account that the union has currently and clearly state their operational functions. The account that the union has currently and their operational functions.
So the question is the accounts that the University of the Gambia Students' Union is currently holding. We have an account from Islamic Bank Limited, Gambia, and we also have an account from Trust Bank, the Gambia. So their functions just relate to whatever the activity that is resulting from the reason as to why we are withdrawing funds from this account. So it is subjective. It depends on who is the finance minister of the time to relate to why we are withdrawing funds from these accounts that I just stated. Thank you. Okay. My question is, can we be seated, please? Please. Can we be seated, please? Can we allow Musa to ask this question? Can we be seated, please? Please. My question to Babukar is, my final question is, given that multiple signatories are required, but funds are still ultimately received by the finance minister of the union, this is an assumption. What are the specific internal control mechanisms that you are going to use to introduce the prevention of collusion, fraud, and withdrawals below $75,000? And why do you think this is important? Because investments or withdrawals less than $75,000 may escape rigorous scrutiny.
Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, as the aspiring finance minister candidate, he don't even know one account that the union have. The unions have 3 accounts, which is Agim Bank, Access Bank, and Eco Bank. And fellow students of the University of the Gambia, can you please tell my opponent, we are not in an assumption world, we are in a real world. Thank you.
Please. Please, the crowd is coming forward. Can we please maintain the camera, please? Can we please maintain? So before we start, can you guys try and sit down? Please, please, we are begging you. Please. Please, do not stand on the chairs. Please, we are begging you, please, do not stand on the chairs, please. Do not stand on the chairs, please. Please, please, do not stand on the chairs, please. Please, 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 please. Do not stand on the chairs, please. Okay, can we please settle down and allow Mohammed Ba to read his manifestos, please? Can we settle down?
Esteemed members of this honorable delegation, history has honorable members of this distinguished convention, history has consistently shown us that true leadership does not emerge through men. It emerges from service, from competency, from consistency, and from proven results. Ladies and gentlemen, history has consistently shown us that true leadership does not emerge from mere noise or from empty promises. Rather, it emerges from consistency, from service, from dedication, and from the unremarkable proven results that has been brought forward by this very unopposed candidate from the Almighty Alliance. In every institution, there are individuals whose dedication and whose unwavering sense of responsibility has gradually earned them the respect and the commitment of the people that they serve. As the law says, acta non verba. There are no actions without words. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership therefore is never claimed. It is demonstrated. Mohammed of Opospa stands in front of you as the candidate for the Secretary General of the SU elections 2026 with a proven track record. He served as the Secretary General of the Young Debaters Association, the Secretary General of the Law Clinic of Faculty of Law, the Research Minister of LSA, the Deputy IPO of the 13th Executive Council, the former teacher of both Sukuta and Gambia High School. Alongside his leadership record, Mohammed Ba has distinguished himself through notable achievements. For example, he was a finalist at the South Africa International Moot Court Competition, the best debater of National Youth Conference, the finalist of Vice Chancellor National Championship, and the winner of the Federation of African Law Students Association. The future of every institution, ladies and gentlemen, depends on the quality of leadership entrusted with its mandate. It is therefore that I say, res ipsa loquitur, the thing already speaks for itself. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that Mohammed Opospa will contribute significantly to the continuance of this very student union. As the legal maxim says, will be just every remedium. Where there's a right, there must be a responsibility. Therefore, I say, where there's a responsibility, there must be leadership that is capable of carrying that responsibility with integrity. It is therefore, ladies and gentlemen, that I present to this very convention the unopposed, the only competent member of the Alliance for Intercoalition. Thank you very much.
institutions are built on clear records, honest communication, and an organized leadership. Mr. Chairperson, members of the Electoral Commission, fellow candidates, and esteemed fellow students. My name is Mohammed Ba. As earlier alluded to, I stand before you today as the only unopposed candidate in these elections. And as the only unopposed candidate in this election, I have a responsibility. And this responsibility is in two folds. The first one is to ensure I share with you what it is that I am going to do once I officially assume my responsibility as the Secretary General of the 24th Executive Council of the University of the Gambia Students' Union. The second fold is to let you know the type of leadership required by this critical hour and the type of political establishment that has ensured and presented the type of individuals that are going to deliver the change that we all desire as university students. Fellow students, from the beginning of these elections, one thing was categorically clear, and that is, as far as the position of Secretary General is concerned, there was never any contest. There could not have been a contest, and even if there was, my opponent, with all due respect, would have had a whooping of a lifetime. I don't say this out of pride, I say this out of who I am as an individual, the type of responsibilities I have carried on my shoulders, and the type of leadership roles I have held, and the deliveries I have done in the leadership positions I have held. So as far as Mohammed Ba is concerned, the facts speak for themselves. And this is not a mere coincidence. This is a statement. Me standing before you today as an unopposed candidate is a statement and not a mere coincidence. It is a statement about preparedness, it is a statement about capacity, and it is a statement about who is ready to lead and who is not. And as far as this year's election is concerned, and as far as the campaign we've had so far is concerned, that has been made categorically clear. The only political establishment that has presented University of the Gambia Students' Union or University of the Gambia students with tested, proven, committed, dedicated, and service-driven individuals is Inter-School Alliance for Change. And to respond to the first limb of my responsibility, in ensuring that University of the Gambia Students' Union is given the type of leadership it deserves, I have crafted 7 relevant, necessary, achievable, time-bound, and very, very practical policies. And these policies in highlight are, number 1, the Executive Transition Handbook. Number 2, Sub-Association Coordination Initiative. Number 3, UTG Community Outreach Initiative. Number 4, Policy Consolidation Monitoring Framework. Number 5, Consolidation and Establishment of Strategic Partnerships. Number 6, Administrative Empowerment of Secretaries General of Sub-Associations. And number 7, last but not least, Sub-Association Consultation Initiative. my policies in detail, fellow students. Number one, Executive Transition Handbook. We all know, as far as Inter-School Alliance for Change is concerned, it is not about individuals, it is about continuity. Because leadership is about continuity, Executive Transition Handbook I propose to implement once I assume office. What is this going to do? This is going to ensure that every activity that is undertaken by the union is recorded, and this is in line with my responsibility as stipulated in section 14, sub 1, paragraph F of the University of the Gambia Students' Union Constitution as amended 2021. Policy number 2, Sub-Association Coordination Initiative. We all know University of the Gambia comprise sub-associations, and these sub-associations have to be coordinated properly, and this responsibility is given to the Secretary General by virtue of section 14, sub 1, paragraph H and I. And this requires the sub-associations to be supervised by the Secretary General of the University of the Gambia Students' Union, and again, every faculty-based association in the University of the Gambia, for it to be recognized, has to be registered with the union, and the registration has to be overseen by the Secretary General. In ensuring that I keep up with this provision, I have proposed the Sub-Association Coordination Initiative to ensure that sub-association in UTG are coordinated, and this coordination will ensure that there is no clash among or between any sub-association of UTG, and it's also going to ensure that every program and activity of every sub-association is implemented as it should, and there wouldn't be any clashes, because each sub-association in UTG deserves to be recognized, deserves to be given the right and equal footing, and this is what I, Mohamed Ba, propose to implement once I assume office officially. Thirdly, UTG Community Outreach Initiative. We're all university students and we all hail from communities. For the most part, there is a disconnect between University of the Gambia students and the communities they hail from. And as a student who is not only passionate about academic excellence, but also giving back to the communities we come from, I propose the UTG Community Outreach Initiative. I am going to ensure every sub-association of UTG is written to, and they're all going to send representatives, and these representatives are going to be tasked with the responsibility of identifying pressing concerns in our communities, and they're going to be allowed to respond to these concerns. And one might ask, Mohammed, how about funding? As far as this year's election is concerned, we can talk about everything, but our inability to secure funding where it is needed. Why? University of the Gambia students, I stand before you today to indicate to you that in this year's election, the only individual that has been presented by a political establishment, and this person has all it takes to ensure that funding would not be something that University of the Gambia students are ever going to complain about. Why am I saying this? Because he has done it before, and there is no reason that he can't do it again. University of the Gambia students, I present to you your next president, Ismaila Fadera. The fifth policy, that is consolidation and establishment of strategic partnerships. UTG Students' Union currently has partnerships that are existing. And these existing partnerships are going to be reviewed when we come into office to ensure that they are serving their purposes. Not only review them, but also establish new partnerships to ensure that partnerships go beyond funding, but again, they also serve the needs of internships and mentorship programs. And the last policy, but not the least, Student Consultation Initiative. Section 14 sub 1, paragraph B, mandates the Secretary General of the Students' Union to draw the agenda of the Executive Council meetings in consultation with the President. I am going to take it upon myself to ensure that we create Google Forms. The Secretariat under my leadership will create Google Forms. These Google Forms are going to be shared with the University of the Gambia students, and they are going to identify their pressing concerns with the assistance of the next Technical and Logistics Minister, Ibrahim Ademdau. We are going to ensure that these forms that are returned are reviewed, and when we review these forms where necessary, these concerns are going to be indicated in the agenda of the Executive Council during executive meetings in consultation with the President. This way, we are going to be directly in touch with the needs and aspirations of the students we are swearing to serve. In conclusion, University of the Gambia Students' Union, we have reached a very defining moment. And as students of the University of the Gambia, we have a responsibility. And the responsibility is to understand that in this year's election, it is not about theatrics. In this year's election, it is not about promises. This year's election is not about what individuals are saying, building leadership on hope. It is about building leadership on certainty. It is about giving leadership to individuals who have delivered. It is giving leadership to individuals who have earned performance. It is not about giving leadership to individuals who are going to be using the position of president as an experimental ground. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes. So thank you, Mr. Mohammed Ba. We now move to the position of Vice President. So I call on the two Vice Presidential candidates, Sina Sidibe and Adam Andau, to come on stage, please. Okay. Can we be seated, please? Please.
Kingdoms rise and fall, and the University of the Gambia may fall if we vote for someone that is not capable. And that is why we brought you the one and only female candidate that is tested, verified, and certified to lead you to the promised land. Fellow students, are we satisfied with the current senator in the University of the Gambia? Fellow students, we want a reminder of the 22nd Executive Council Vice Presidential candidate, who is no other than Yunus Ambai, who was from the Industrial Alliance for Change. Fellow students, in this year's election, we bring you not just a Vice President candidate, but we bring you someone that will lead you to the promised land. And when a leader rises from serving classrooms, communities, the nation and the forgotten, they do not just lead, they transform a nation. And this is not just a moment, but this is about history to be made. Fellow students, this young lady right here is someone that has served not just as a teacher, but she has served as a mentor, a guide, and a beacon of hope. Fellow students, this young lady here has served internationally, where she represented the Gambia in the UNESCO World Melnet and the Gambia. Fellow students,
has represented the NAMI Foundation, the foundation that was able to bring the University of the Gambia, Utgsu, a children's playground, and today children's play there. So she is responsible and capable. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, we do not just bring a candidate that would be there for the sake of being there, but we bring a candidate that would be your voice, your image, and your presence. She'll represent your interests. She'll stand for you and defend you even to the very end. Fellow students, you do not choose a stone over a diamond. And she is a diamond, and you will choose her. Fellow students, without wasting much time, I would want to tell you that we do not want to go back in the olden days. We want a vice presidential candidate that will stand for us, defend us, and protect our interests even to the very end. I present to you our Chigen Jambar, our vice president candidate, who is no other than Miss Adamandau. Fellow students, thank you, sir.
Leadership in our students' union must go beyond titles. It must be translated into actions that improves the academic and professional lives of students. Greetings, fellow students, members of the Electoral Commission, fellow candidates and members of the 23rd Executive Council. I am Ms. Adamandau, the Vice Presidential candidate under the banner of UTG Interschool Alliance for Change for the forthcoming UTG Student Union elections. Section 13 demands us that the Vice President is not merely a deputy, but the bridge between students and leadership, and that bridge must be strong, active, and transparent. It must ensure that the voices of students are heard where decisions are made. When given the mandate to serve as the Vice President for the students of the University of the Gambia, my focus will be centered on 6 key policies designed to strengthen academic regulation, university regulations, and expand opportunities for innovation and growth. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, these are not mere policies. These are policies that are attainable. These are policies that you and I can relate to. These are policies that can be implemented. First on my policies, fellow students of the University of the Gambia, establishment of a prisoner reporting system. Second on my policy, academic representation and Senate feedback policy. Third on my policy, establishment, enhanced orientation and student integration reform. Fourth on my policy, establishment of a startup incubator advisory board connecting students and entrepreneurs. Fifth on my policy, timely release of grades and academic support
people will be represented and not informed. As your Vice President, I will ensure that academic representation at the Senate becomes active, transparent, and accountable. Fellow students of the University of the Gambia, is disheartening that there is lack of absence at the Central Disciplinary Committee of the Senate, which is a CDC that most of you are not aware of. In my advocacy as the Vice President of the University of the Gambia in waiting, I will advocate for the inclusion of a student representative at the Central Disciplinary Committee to serve as a voice and observer of the student so that the process is trusted and fair. Third of my policies, fellow students of the University of the Gambia, enhance orientation and student integration reform. For many new students, entering a university can be overwhelming. They mostly begin their university journey without understanding university regulations, opportunities available to them, or how to navigate within the four corners of the University of the Gambia. Fellow students, orientation should not just be a formality, it should be a foundation for success. As your Vice President in waiting, I will work closely with the Education and Research Minister of the Union, no other than Ms. Fatudava, to redesign orientation programs so that they clearly explain academic expectations, university regulations, and opportunities available to them. I will also promote peer mentorship, where senior students will guide freshmen from first year to their final year, helping them avoid common challenges or mistakes and adapt confidently in the University of the Gambia. A great start creates a stronger academic journey. Fifth on my policy, establishment of an incubator advisory board connecting students and entrepreneurs. Our campus is filled with talented and creative students who have innovative business ideas. But these ideas never grow beyond the concept stage because students lack mentorship, they lack guidance, and potential connection. As your Vice President in waiting, I will create the promotion of a startup incubator advisory board connecting students and entrepreneurs. Through this, we will identify professionals who will guide our students. Student entrepreneurs will present their ideas and they will receive constructive guidance. This will also encourage collaboration between student innovators and relevant stakeholders. Dear fellow students of the University of the Gambia, upon students presenting these ideas, these professionals will help them promote their ventures into sustainable ventures, dear fellow students of the University of the Gambia. When students innovate, the entire university community grows. Fifth on my policy, this is so dear to me. You know why, fellow students of the University of the Gambia? Because I am a victim, and whatever affects me affects you as a university student. And that is timely release of grades and academic support policy. Often students' grades get delayed by lecturers due to late submission of mark scripts or uploading the grades to the portal. Most of whom will wait for months to know they are paid in such courses. This is not fair to the University of the Gambia students. And as Vice President, I will advocate for the timely release of grades and adherence to strict timelines provided by the Senate. This policy seeks to promote transparency and fairness in the grading system, and this will help the students to know the grading procedures at the Senate. Last but not least, the ultimate academic compass roadmap. Students often today face misinformation, which has negatively affected their university academic journey. And as your Vice President in waiting, by working together with the Education and Research Minister, Ms. Fatudava, we will develop an academic compass roadmap system where it should be accessible to every student from Banjul to the nook and cranny of the campus through accessible QR codes where students will scan and know their fate in drafting records, in knowing their remaining courses and research or thesis writing papers. I thank you so much. In conclusion, policies. These are promises, these are policies that are well crafted, attainable, crafted, practical, sustainable, and implemented. Therefore, thank you so much.
Hello, can we be seated, please? Can we be seated? Mr. You have 15 minutes.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Standing on due protocols, I respectfully greet the distinguished moderators, fellow students, candidates, and my fellow candidates from the most competent set of leaders that we have here, the mighty coalition. Good day to you all. I stand before you to share my vision and policies that aim to improve student welfare, representation, and opportunities for all students. As the first female president of the Gambia College Students Union, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Gambia College. Welcome to the Gambia College. As the first female of the Gambia College Students Union. My opponent has mentioned some of the things she has achieved. And I would like to remind her that when you look at the Gambia College, when you enter the Gambia College, you have a district wall just right at the front door. It was during my leadership that we made that wall around them, by the gate of the Gambia College. When you look at the Gambia College, there are seats around the Gambia College where students can relax and sit. That was during my executive. When you look at the Gambia College, I have currently over 300 students that are currently lecturing in the Gambia College. So, my opponent can learn from me. I would take my opponent for a mentorship program. My name is Sirasiribe, your next vice president. The first ever female president of the Gambia College Students Union. Former Secretary General to the National Union of Gambian Students, former Vice President to the CRR Public Health Officers Association, volunteer lead for Boycott Senegambia and DFS, which are both tech events, and currently an assistant lecturer at the Gambia College. Good day to you all. The office of the Vice President is not a place to learn, but a place for tested student leadership, strong advocacy, and action. My candidacy is built on years of tested leadership, national and international representation. I present policies that are intentional, practical, and student-centered. But policies alone do not create change. Students do. Therefore, let's transform UTG into a university where grades are delivered on time, freshers are supported, research is properly supervised, and all voices are heard before problems arise. With this, I submit the following policies for a better university and for a better students' union. First on my policy is the continuity and consolidation of progress. Second on my policy is the Freshers First program, followed by the Red Connect, which is the regular dialogue with student representatives. This is followed by my active participation in the Senate. Number 4. Number 5 is the UTG Student Service Corps. Number 6 is to strengthen ties with the All Africa Students Union. Number 7 on my policy is the UTG Student-Led Academic Research Seed Fund. Number 8 on my policy is the Academic Grades and Recovery Framework. Number 9 on my policy
policy is the academic accountability and research support framework. Number 10 is the degree plus program. Number 11 is the ethical AI awareness campaign. And last but not the least, number 12, last but not the least is digital inclusion for all UTG students. Now let me take you through my policies one by one. Because these policies are not recycled. These policies are not recycled. They are intentional, they are practical, they are student-centered. First on my policy is the continuity and consolidation of progress. As good leaders, we have learned that leadership is not always about starting from scratch, but about building from the foundations that have already been laid. Therefore, I intend to continue the good policies that my predecessor has done. And one of those policies is the Council Research Exchange Program. This program has proven successful, and we intend to sustain it and maintain it so that more students have the opportunity to join such an exchange program. Second on my policy is the Rep Connect. This is the regular dialogue with student representatives. We understand that there are communication gaps between students and student representatives. Therefore, in order to close this gap, we introduce the Rep Connect. This is the regular dialogue with student representatives in different sub-associations to identify localized issues and solve them before issues arise. Third on my policy is the Freshers First program. When I came to the University of the Gambia as a new student, I remember how I didn't know how to pay for my tuition fee. I didn't know how to register for my courses. I didn't know where to find good lecturers or what courses to register for. As new students, these are some of the struggles they face, and therefore it's important to address these issues. And this is why we introduced the Freshers First program. This program is here to support students in 3 ways. Number 1 is to pair them with new students with old students. Number 2 is to make a student handbook, a survival handbook. This handbook will include every single important information that a new student needs to know to survive in the University of the Gambia. Thirdly, we intend to have a Freshers First help desk. This is an online platform where new students can call and ask questions that they may want to know about the University of the Gambia. Next on my policy is my active participation in listening. As your Vice President, one of my responsibilities is to represent you in the Senate, and therefore I intend to take that responsibility seriously. How do I intend to do that? I don't intend to just go to a meeting and just attend Senate meetings. I intend to gather student issues and identify problems that are affecting students to be able to speak them and speak the voices of the students with clarity and conviction. Not just attending meetings, but to be able to speak for the students, speak for their voices. This does not just stop at talking about student issues, but ensuring that these issues are resolved at the end of the day. Fifth of my policy is the UTG Student Service Corps. This will be an organized volunteer program for university students so that we can connect university students to community projects and internships. This will ensure that we promote civic responsibility and the spirit of service within the University of Gambia students. Seventh on my policy is the UTG Student-Led Academic Research Seed Fund. This seed fund will be a union-managed seed fund that is for researchers and innovators in the University of the Gambia, who will be supported to conduct such researches that don't only benefit them, but benefit the entire university and the Gambia at large. Such researches will be supported, and at the end of the day, we will support such students to be able to publish their researches. In this way, UTG students are not just consumers of knowledge, but also producers of knowledge in the international community. Next on my policy is the academic grace and recovery framework. As student leaders, I understand that often when students want to receive for exams, they ask them for medical documents. And physical sickness is not the only sickness that students face. Students go through emotional issues. Students go through mental health, depression, loss of loved ones, and financial issues. And therefore, these issues need to be considered by the administration of the University of the Gambia. Students are human beings and they deserve consideration. Therefore, we must consider students' issues not just limited to medical papers, but accessibility and research support framework. This policy aims to address two things. Number one is the issue of missing grades, and number two is the issue of lack of research supervisors within the University of the Gambia. We understand that final year students struggle with having supervisors when it comes to their final year project, and therefore we intend to support them by identifying retired professors, postgraduate students, master students who are willing. This doesn't only stop at the Gambia, but international professors who are willing to support and volunteer to supervise final year students. In this way, lecturers are not overburdened and students are properly supervised. Next on my policy is the Degree Plus initiative. As university students, we understand that your degree is no longer enough to get you a job in this day and age. Therefore, you need other skills, you need other activities that are involved within your team to be able to get a job in this current age. And therefore, we intend to address that issue by introducing the Degree Plus initiative. What do we intend to do? We intend to train students on soft skills that are important within the job market. With this, students are able to be not only fit for employability, but able to be a fit candidate in the job market in this day and age. Next on my policy, which is the second to last policy, is the ethical AI awareness campaign. As students, AI is becoming more and more powerful every day. And it's important that UTG students know how to use AI, when to use it, and where to use it, so that when you graduate, the integrity of your degree is maintained. So that you don't graduate with lack of knowledge, you don't have the knowledge that you have been studying for because you have been using AI tools. Therefore, it's important that university students know how to use AI and when to use it. In this way, we will launch an ethical AI awareness campaign, which will be a digital campaign where students will be, where the awareness of the students will be raised on how to use AI, when to use it. In this way, when you graduate with a degree that has integrity. Last but not the least is the digital inclusion for all UTG students. You may be surprised that there are students in the University of Gambia whom you know that if you place a laptop in front of them, they don't know how to find their way around the laptop. And we need to empower such students to ensure that they are in line with every other student in the University of the Gambia. And therefore, we intend to conduct basic IT training skills where these students can learn how to use these digital devices and be able to empower themselves and be in line with the rest of the world and other tertiary institutions around the globe. Therefore, these are the policies that are. In conclusion, this manifesto is not just a list of policies. It is a commitment to action. It is a promise that I, in collaboration with the Students' Union, will serve as a shield against academic delays, will serve as support for freshers, will serve as a driver for innovation, and will serve as a platform for accountability. As your next Vice President, even those that are denying him know that I am your next Vice President. You know that, I know that, we all know that. Therefore, it's important that we all come together and take University of the Gambia to heights that we all desire. This is our time, this is our union, this is our future. Want a coalition leadership and let's make UTG great again. Thank you so much.
Can we please sit down? Can we please be seated? Can we please be seated, please? Can we sit down? Conference of delegates, can we please sit down? The executives are here, they are not having a good view. Those behind, they are not having a good view. I mean, let us be fair to ourselves at least and sit down. Please, 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 please. Can you please be seated? These are chairs. They are not meant for you to be standing on them. Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down. We are not going to go further if you guys refuse to sit down. Yes, so no one is also allowed to come further. So please, and stop there. Yes. Can we be seated, please? Can we be seated, please? Let us serve justice to ourselves. There are others behind. They want to see what is going on. The noise is too much. Okay? So we're now taking on from there. When the candidates are asking their questions, let us please keenly listen to what they have to ask. And please, when the other candidate is giving their response, let us also give them the chance to do that. Okay? Let us be fair, let us do justice and not stand because we have others at the back. Alright? So we now start with Siri. You have to ask a question in 1 minute.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Adam now. You present multiple policies that are essentially the same idea in different forms. The Senate feedback policy, the pre-Senate reporting system, the academic welfare and policy advocacy. All of these revolve around collecting students' concerns, representing them at Senate, giving feedback. This is not three policies, this is one policy repeated with different names. What are you presenting? Why are you presenting the same representation idea, which is your representation at the Senate, which is part of your functions? The same idea, you are representing it multiple times, different policies. Why are you recycling the same idea in all this?
Good evening once again, fellow students. It came to my realization that my fellow candidate doesn't understand administration. To let you know, Ms. Sidibe, being a Senate is not something easy. You have to be strong and active enough. Compiling these things together is tantamount to nothing. Students need to understand what this means, so I have to tell them one by one what it means. Thank you. Earlier, when she started talking, her first lines, or within her first lines, she talked of lecturing me because she was the lecturer. She was like, I can lecture her. But, Miss Sidibe, before becoming a lecturer, you were taught by a teacher, and I was a teacher to let you know. My question to you is, fellow students of the University of the Gambia, is academic accountability and research support framework. Ms. Sidibe, it's like you are not informed of how administration works at the University of the Gambia. This policy is not under your purview. It's under the responsibility of management, which is directly under the registrar's office. So how can you implement this? Just finish.
Thank you. Can I speak? Miss Adamanda, you have no idea what it means to represent students. Because you have never been a student representative, especially for a tertiary institution. I was a home student union president representing 12,000 students in this institution. I have for understanding. In this hall, I stood here, I defended my policies, and 4 schools in the institution of the Gambia College, Agri, Public Health, Education, they all chose me as a president. In this hall that we are currently standing. So you have no idea what it means to represent students. You have no idea what it means for tertiary students to be advocated for. So you can lecture me on that. And before I became a lecturer, I was a teacher. So what's the point? To go to your question, my policy is on. Thank you.
Please. Your candidate is coming to answer the question, so please give her the chance to do so. Please.
Yes, her question was my policy on academic accountability and research support framework. And this policy aims to address 2 things. The issue of missing grades and the issue of support for students in their final year of research. What do we intend to do? We intend to have a reporting system where students can report missing grades, and we will follow it up. We will be proactive. We will be active leaders who will follow up on such grades. And secondly, when it comes to... Okay, my time is up, so I'll just go to my question. Thank you. Can I ask my question, please? My question is, on your policy number 6, you mentioned that punishing lecturers for not submitting grades on time. That's something you mentioned. I saw that line on your policy. Promising students to punish lecturers sounds very bold of you, but it's very misleading. That authority lies within the university administration, not the student union. You cannot punish any lecturer, Mr. Adamdao. As a vice president, that power does not lie within you. We need honest leadership, not unrealistic promises. You cannot promise students that you will punish lecturers. That is not within your power. My question is, can you clearly define the limits of the vice president's powers in the policy and in the constitution? Perhaps that will remind you of your responsibilities as a Senate member. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening once again, everyone. My colleagues stood here and talked about academic representation. But to let you know, a senator is that person who actively defends your interests like a Senate. And which I look forward to. And you know what is disheartening that Ms. Sidina came here and couldn't answer my question. You don't even understand my question. You don't answer my question, and therefore I actively defend the interests of students at the University of the Gambia.
Please, we go back, please, we go back, please, we go back, please, we go back. Yeah, we go back, please, we go back, please, we go back. Yes. You people are coming in front. You see this first row? That is where you should stop. You should not go in front of that. Please, please, adhere to these rules, please. You want to have a smooth contention, please.
My question to Ms. Sidibe is, what is the composition of the Senate? And also, are you listening? What is the composition of the Senate? And also, my last question is one question. How does the Senate execute an approval of grade and what happens in it and why?
You are asked to ask me only one question and I will answer only one question. Your first question is what does constitute the Senate? The Senate constitutes of the chairperson, which is the Vice Chancellor of the Gambia, of the University of the Gambia. The Senate consists of the Registrar of the University of the Gambia. The Senate consists of the PhD lecturers in the university. The Senate consists of the Vice President of the Student Union of the University of the Gambia and associate professors in the University of the Gambia. Thank you very much. That's all I'm going to do.
Thank you all. Thank you all. You made the decision. Thank you all. So a resolution has been passed from the commissioners that we are not going to go further with the convention unless you guys go back. Yes, we are not going to proceed. We are not going to proceed unless you guys go back. Please, it's getting late, please. It's getting late. Let us go back. Let us go back. No, we go back. We have to go back before we start. We have to go back. Sir, can you please help us with that? Volunteers, can you help us with that as well? Let's sit down. 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 These are not our chairs. These chairs did not belong to the University of the Gambia students. These are Gambia College students. So let's be responsible enough to take care of this. We are not paying a dime for these chairs. So the only thing we could do is be grateful and take care of what is given to us for free. Please, let's sit down. Let's all stand on the chairs. Please, please, please. I'm begging you, please, please, please. We don't must respect, please. Please don't be starting on this chair. Please, please, please. Yeah, at this point, the convention depends on you guys. If you want us to go further, we go on with it. If you don't want it, then we stay here. Please, we beg you, please. We beg you, we beg you. We beg you. Please, 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 please. Please, 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 can we have a seat? Please, can we have our seats, please? Can we be seated, please? Can we be seated? Sit down, please. Sit down, please. Please, please, it's getting late. Please, please. Please, 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 please. Can we be seated, please? Can we be seated, please? Can we go back, please? Can we go back, please? Please, please, go back. Please, can we go back, please?
Guys, can you please listen? Please, let's listen, guys, please. We want the success of this convention. Just as
Guys, you can stand up, support, but you can sit down again. You don't have to remain standing. Or do you want to jump on the stage? You cannot do that, please. You can stand up, support, that's fine. But then sit down again. It's very simple. You help yourself, you help us, and you help the candidate, please. I think it's very simple. It's not too much to ask for.
Let us move backwards and allow the presidential candidates to step on stage, please. The presidential candidates. Mr. Usman Balde, can you please come on stage? Mr. Ismail Fadera, can you please come on stage? Please, can you come on stage? Now the least we can do, we all have our candidates right on stage. The least we can do is listen to them, okay? Listen to their policies, to their manifestos, okay? It's very okay to cheer them up, it's very okay, but please. Please, you guys cannot be here. It's not allowed for anyone to be here, other than the EC commissioners. Please, please. Why? No one is allowed to be here. Why? Please, please. Now that the presidential candidates are on their feet, can we allow them to have their manifestos, please? Please give them a chance to have their manifestos. Please stop the violence, please. You did this, students, no more violence, please. You did this, students, no to violence. Let us all say no to violence. Please, no violence, please. We have our presidential candidates on their feet. Let us allow them to smoothly tell us their manifestos and what they have. But please, can we rearrange ourselves, please? Can we go back? Before we start, you guys have to go back a little bit. Can we please maintain the flow? Can you leave the stage, please? Can you leave the stage? You cannot be here, please leave the stage. Sister, can you please leave the stage? Thank you. Okay. One of the two presidential candidates will start reading their manifestos. Okay. Please, can we move a little bit back? Please. Okay? Okay. So you have 30 minutes, alright? So whatever time that you spend will be deducted from his time in total, okay? Alright, go on. Please, let's listen to their manifestos. Let us keenly listen to their manifesto to make an informed decision at the ballot tomorrow. Thank you, Utgsu students. Yes, we want you guys to give us a go-ahead with the convention, please. Yes, I like this. You guys give us the pleasure to start this. But you may go on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, students of the University of the Gambia. Yes. Okay.
ladies and gentlemen, students of the University of the Gambia, members present here, those at home, those who are not far, those within the boundaries of the Gambia, and those even internationally, Utgsu students, listen to my Ismaila. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not the title. Leadership is not the position. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership is pragmatism. Leadership is the lives that you have impacted and the people that you have created, and that by Ismaila did. Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to present an individual that stands with you, serves with you, works with you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can be available for the source of students, if you can be available at national level, who is you telling me he cannot do it for Utgsu after all? Ladies and gentlemen, who should lead the way? Barcelona, who should pave the way? Barcelona, who wants the journey? Barcelona, who wants the goals? Barcelona, put him in position. Utgsu is the Galuna state. And ladies and gentlemen, join me, Catholic and Prefect, bring him to
the alpha and omega of all sub-association presidents, I found that very disturbing. Social students, if they don't know how to write concept, let's help them how to write concept. As president of the Social Sciences and Humanities Students Association, Social Week alone, we generated $350,000 from donations. Ladies and gentlemen, standing on the existing protocol, Mr. Chair, good evening. To my fellow candidates, good evening. And to the members of the 23rd Executive Council, good evening, and fellow convention delegates. Standing before you this evening is the youth of the year 2023, the Youth Impact Award winner 2024, the Youth Ambassador 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, if impact is the definition of a true leader, I, Ismaila Fadera, am the beacon of hope of all universities. The highest office in our student governance system deserves someone who is pragmatic, experienced, exposed, dedicated, committed, connected, and has good administrative understanding. And that someone is none other than my humble self and your next president of the 24th Executive. Over the past 10 months, I have had the opportunity to lead a diverse student body and executive council with unity, harmony, and coupled with my visionary skills, we were able to register an unprecedented success presented before Congress. And this unprecedented success are proven numbers. We inherited a council coffers of $34,000 from a solutionist-led council, and we raised the bars to $217,000. If that is not enough, today, social students can no longer move from their school to any other school because there is a functional printer and a functional photocopy machine that is generating $10,000 monthly. If that is not enough, they will say donor fatigue. But I have delivered a scholarship package of $100,000 for social students. In addition to the functions of the Office of the President, as prescribed in Section 12 of the UTG-SU Constitution 2021 as amended, I have outlined 6 policies, which are, you have to count with me, which are 1, achievable, 2, measurable, 3, attainable, and 4, specific. And now to give you the policies in highlights. 1, Education Fund Program. 2, reintroduction of the UTG Donor Conference. 3, establishment of the UTG Think Tank Center. 4, partnership and cooperation. 5, intensive opportunity and career development. 6, establishment of seats across the bus stop in Faraba. And now the policies in detail. As humanitarian and as someone who values education, it is always disheartening anytime you are in social media seeing people or seeing students reaching out to at least have funds. As Students' Union that serve the interests of all students, it is incumbent upon us to be able to look into the consideration of those students. Credit must be given to Mohamed Galan, and I want all of us to
increased the scholarship package from 50 students to 150 students. And single-handedly, he was able to generate $245,000 for UTG students. If Mohamed Galan, as president of the SU, is able to do that, and Ismaila Fadera, as president of the Social Sciences and Humanities Students Association, is able to generate $100,000 scholarship package for UTG students. Under my leadership, more opportunities will be unlocked for UTG students. They may ask, how are we going to do that? As council in waiting, we have engaged APS service, we have engaged philanthropist Gambians, namely Musa Baro, Abubakar Steve Tarawale, you name them, and they are all waiting for us to get into office to unlock money for council. Donor fatigue under Ismaila Fadera's tenure shall never be a problem because I'm a development major, I'm a project coordinator. Next on my policy is the reintroduction of UTG Donor Conference. It will interest you to know that this Donor Conference was introduced by an alliance finance minister in the name of Mr. Kuka, and we must applaud him for the job well done that he has done. Under my leadership and under the office of the Secretariat, the only unopposed SG candidate, Mr. Mohammed Ba, alongside the finance minister, the only competent finance minister as far as this year's elections is concerned, Mr. Babukar Mbai, we should be able to stage one of the most successful donor conference in the history of UTG. You may ask, what is the benefit of the UTG donor conference? This donor conference will invite sub-associations where pressing issues that affects the university will be tabled, and it serves as a platform for not only networking, but where some of you can even seek jobs. Next on our policy, or next on my policy list, is the establishment of UTG Think Tank Center. UTG SU has produced some amazing presidents, and notably among them, we could even name them, right? And I want you to name them with me. Do you want us to lose Mohamed Galan's expertise? Do you want us to lose Nyanika Manyan's expertise? Do you want us to lose Fatu Jeng's expertise? Do you want us to lose Alpha MK Low's expertise? That is what my leadership wants to bring. By bridging the gap between the UTG SU and the former president, they will serve as experts in helping the council to be able to formulate policies that could be beneficiary to UTG students. Alpha Low currently is the director of NACA, but how many of you do knock on his doors to have your accreditation? Anybody who is willing and ready to go for masters, you must definitely knock on his door. But are you people aware that Alpha MK Low serves as president of the SU? That is what my leadership is going to bring. And this think tank center is going to work with all sub-association presidents. It is never going to be division under my leadership. It is going to be united for one purpose. That is to see the union forward in everything that we are going to do. Those of you who witnessed the leadership of Ismaila Fadera, even the Peter people are part of the council. Next on my policy list is partnership and cooperation. It is important to give credit to where credit is due. And that is why I will not be very ungrateful to the 23rd Executive Council. They have done tremendously well in terms of partnership and cooperation is concerned. Partnership and cooperation, it will interest you to know we have institutions that they have signed MOUs with as a responsible council and under the dynamic leadership of the only lawyer as far as this year's election is concerned, Mohamed Ba. We should be able to strengthen partnership with those corporations. The association is no longer going to work in isolation. The association should be able to strengthen cooperations with this institution. Institutions like GCCI, institutions like GRTS, institutions like Event Center, we will look into the cooperations that was signed with the council. And under my leadership, be rest assured, you will be able to see more cooperation for the association. I have signed 6 MOUs under my leadership as president of SOSA, unprecedented in the history of sub-association. Today, if National Nutrition Agency needs numerators, they are going to come to SOSA. And some of our students could even earn $7,500. That is leadership, that is impact. I want UTG students to get Ismaila Fadera based on what I have done for the school over the past 10 months. Because if you want to go outside the perimeters of the University of the Gambia, I have a lot that cannot even be filled in a pamphlet. Next on my policy is internship opportunity. It is disheartening to be in UTG. After 4 years of your program, you cannot even secure an internship opportunity. Seni is here. I was in my office when a student knocked on the door and gave me $500. It touches me. I was like, what is wrong? The person said, Mr. President, thanks to the intensive opportunity that you secured for me at Access Bank, my family and I are no longer struggling for ends meet. It will also interest you to know that 14 intensive opportunity was unlocked under my leadership at Access Bank. It is no longer intensive opportunity within the soil of the Gambia, but intensive opportunity international. If that is made possible at the sub-association level, I believe in the union we could be able to unlock more opportunities for all sub-associations. Next on the policy is establishment of seats around the Faraba campus. Last year, during the rainy season, it weakens me seeing a pregnant woman beaten by rainfall. It is unacceptable. That is why having institutional memory and administrative understanding is important. When I draft this policy, I saw a journal that says that tertiary and higher education trust fund has already approved sitting arrangement for Faraba campus. So that policy, I could say, maybe Aisatuba, as the accountant, as the auditor general, can mark that policy of Ismaila Fadera as successful, because under the dynamic leadership of Mamen Galan is already endorsed, and you people are going to see sitting arrangements at the Faraba campus. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, leadership is not just about position, but it is the impact that drives person. And after proven everyone beyond reasonable doubt, where scholarship package was unlocked under my leadership, where intensive opportunity was unlocked under my leadership, where printing service was unlocked under my leadership, having my team and I, we should be able to unlock more opportunities for UTG students. I heard Paul M. Sane, can you stand up please? I heard you talk about trash bins. I secured 6 trash bins for SOSA as president. And those 6 trash bins were secured thanks to Brikama Area Council. My opponent here runs what we call global platform. And they knock on my doors to help them secure materials at their Brikama Area Council. Records are there for everyone to see. Under the dynamic leadership of Ibrahim Mbai, flow of information shall never be a problem under my council. As a certified Gambian journalist, we should be able to preach good, positive attitudinal change. Others will come to this podium and they will talk to you about ticketing system. I am here to tell you that introducing ticketing system is an avenue for Avenue for? Avenue for? Why is it an avenue for corruption, brothers and sisters? You have lecturers that have zero tolerance of using mobile phone in your class, in their class. If you happen to be in those lecturers' class and they sell tickets at 4:30 according to the explanation that was given during the discussion that we had at the Fine TV, are you being fair to those students that don't have access to their mobile phone? But we should be able to preach good positive attitudinal change. That is why under the leadership of Ibrahim Ambai, flow of information, because he's a fact checker, shall never be a problem under my leadership. But in a Sanyan studio and talk to you people about no hungry policy. Already, a land is secured for the Students' Union, and not cafeteria, because the cafeteria is under the management of, under the leadership of the management. So no student union can have access to the cafeteria. But what we can now do as leaders is the land that is allocated to Students' Union. We invite entrepreneurs, and those of you who do come with goods in Faraba, you could say you are doing amazingly well. But if you have a canteen that supports entrepreneurship, are we not going to support your business? That is what my leadership is going to bring. Vivian Mendy stood here and talked to you about partnership and cooperation. Vivian Mendy, I can assure you that if we assume office come tomorrow by midnight, be rest assured, the VCNC is no longer going to be VCNC. Institutions are going to support, and university students will enjoy packages, and university students will enjoy initiatives that are going to promote diversity in sports. I overheard Fatu Dabo talking about research proposal. The education fund program is not only going to support scholarship package, but those of you who are interested in research work, if you knock on the doors of the council, we should be able to help you through with the leadership of Mohamed Bar as the Secretary General. On that note, like I always said in class, and I will re-echo again, it is your responsibility and it is your duty to vote for any candidate of your choice. But let this choice not be something that we are going to regret for the next 12 months. On that note, I thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you.
We give floor to the next candidate, the next presidential candidate on stage, please. Let us maintain a little bit of decorum and we can go further. Please allow him to read his manifestos. We want you guys to go to the polls tomorrow and make an informed decision. Please, please. So before he speaks, we also want to apologize. We also want to apologize because we might have said some harsh things or something like that. But you know, we are here to serve the students. So please accept our apology.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do for all you want. Let me tell you one thing. This podium is not for us to come and say things that are not true. Because the global platform that I run, has its funding stream through the Ignite Fund from Action in Denmark, and not the chapter is of course run by their executive. But I, as the program manager of Global Platform The Gambia, will never reach out to someone that begs for donations, because I am a program manager. I am a writing expert. I write proposals and get funding. In fact, when people are thinking about raising council funds of the 200,000 in the year 2025, I have done it in 2018, 2019 as a finance minister. 6 years ago, 200,000 in 2025 means nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, you can boo for all you want, because my existence has been a threat to you from the class-to-class campaign. Alliances are funny, but let me make this very clear. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Usman A. Balde. Usman A. Balde, the name that echoes in every classroom in Faraba right now, because of the measurable policies, because of the fact that I speak the voices of struggling students. I don't come here to brag about achievements. Let me make it very clear that if it is track record, I don't lose it. In fact, I have not just served the University of the Gambia. I have not just served within the region of West Coast. I have not just served within the country. I have served in the sub-region and Africa at large. So, of course, but let me make this clear. I am the advisory board chairman of Ekamansa. I am the chairman of the BCNC. I am a qualified teacher, served as a finance minister in the Gambia College, the most recognized tutor in SBPA, someone that is concerned about the welfare of students. Everybody can attest to that. Ladies and gentlemen, I founded the Global Platform UTG chapter, and in my programs, even the lefties putting on red came to chop my food and of course take my transport reform. So you can do for all you want, I have empowered you. But let's go to the real thing. Here is what I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. The University of the Gambia is at a crossroad. And this will benefit you because it is going to solve your problem if you listen. But let's make this clear, that under my regime, many have promised to procure buses and they could not. But under my leadership, the bus struggle shall end. The bus struggle shall end. And whoever wants to challenge that fact can come and vote for me, then let's see what will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, I spoke to the minister a few minutes ago, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, and he said, Usman, when you come into office, because of your dedication, because of your hard work, because of your diligence, because of your concern for UTG students, we are going to subsidize a number of buses that will transport the students to Faraba. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a highlight of my policy. Policy number 1, the students contaba, and of course policy number 2, continuous advocacy, of course for the buses, and of course an improved bus service for every student. Number 3, defamation and harassment policy. Number 4, expanding scholarship and internship opportunities. Number 5, revitalization and utilization of the UTG Parapet campus. Number 6, inclusive education support for students living with disabilities. Number 7, entrepreneurship trainings, small grants and capacity building. Number 8, UTG convergence and dialogue. Number 9, strategic investment. Number 10, Alumni activation and engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go in detail for these policies. Policy number 1 is inspired by the fact that every day when classes are over, students are forced to queue under the hot sun to wait for hours for a bus to depart. And I have seen firsthand our sisters collapsing at the bus stop because of the rays of the sun. I have seen firsthand our brothers fighting because someone cheats on the queue. And because a leader is supposed to be innovative, is supposed to be brave, is supposed to be courageous, I come up with the students' Bandaba policy to ensure that nobody queues under the hot sun, to ensure that our sisters do not, of course, collapse at the bus waiting station in Faraba. Ladies and gentlemen, not just for the buses, we need places where conversations can grow. And that is why the Students' Bantaba will not be only for the bus waiting station, but of course, other spaces within Faraba that students can sit down and socialize. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I need to talk about the bus policy, because my engagement, and of course with the Mighty Team Coalition, we have visited the Ministry of Youth and Sport on the 2nd April, and he has promised that when we come to office, the bus issue shall be a thing of the past. This is what leadership is about. I don't come here to give promises. I am here to give solutions. And in fact, let me reference for the fact that when I went to Find TV, Ismaila was asked what was his priority for the first 100 days, and he said it's a donor conference. While students are at Faraba suffering, while students cannot travel to school, you are implementing a donor conference. Leadership must be concerned about the voices of the struggling students, and that is the person that I am. Ladies and gentlemen, and I will reference from the fact that Ismaila said that my global platform as a program manager reached out to him for support. Defamation, assassinating my character for what? Why will I reach out to Ismaila for support? This is why I have introduced what you call the defamation and harassment policy, so that every student voices will be heard, so that every student can speak their mind, so that every student will not be insulted, so that no one in this university will not feel silenced. Over the years, we have seen what has been happening. When someone rises up to students' leadership, people sit down in WhatsApp pages and castigate you. People sit down in WhatsApp pages and harass you. People sit down in WhatsApp pages and harass you. In fact, this year, someone stands on the podium and of course, assassinate the character of the next candidate. This is simple. It's really simple. My global platform will never do that. Let me make it very clear. And that is why we are going to work with the Directorate of Students Affairs and of course work with all the GSM operators, because some students hide behind pseudo accounts and assassinate the characters of others. And together we are going to build a university that every voice is heard, a university where every student can participate, a university where everybody feels beloved, because I am a victim, you are a victim, and it must stop. Yes, it hurts when you can hear the truth and you don't want to admit it. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years our sub-associations have been traveling to rural Gambia, especially in the North Bank region. And as a leader that believes in solutions, I have come up with a policy. Because why? When our sub-associations go, they pay a huge amount of money on their research trips for accommodation. They go through a lot to get money, actually, to get a place to rest. And that is why, because the UTG has the UTG Parapenya campus, we are ready as your representative at the governing council when I am elected into office. I will lobby for the revitalization and ensure that every sub-association, every school that travels to North Bank has a place to rest, especially students from Unigamsa, especially students from nursing, especially students from SAPE that go out for community outreach and all of that. The Students' Union must represent everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, sixth on my policy, inclusive education support for students living with disability. As a leader that believes in inclusiveness, as a leader that believes that nobody must be left behind, I want to say that I am the only presidential candidate that caters for people that are living with disabilities in the university as long as our policies are concerned. This shows that, of course, I am not just a student, I am not just an advocate, I am not just someone that comes to contest because I have a name. I am someone that is concerned about the struggles of every student. Ladies and gentlemen, students living with disability deserve support, especially on educational tools. And as someone, of course, a recognized civil society practitioner, I have worked with CRS, that is the Catholic Relief Services, to support students living with disabilities in senior schools in the rural Gambia. And I am ready to extend this project to the University of the Gambia, so that students living with disabilities will feel represented. Ladies and gentlemen, the lefties heart are breaking. This is not what you want to hear, but you will hear it. Let's make it very clear that under my regime, policy number 7, entrepreneurship training, small grants and capacity building training. Ladies and gentlemen, bridging the gap. In fact, when most of us graduate today, we go and seek employment somewhere else. I am tired of university students being job seekers. Instead, we are supposed to be job creators. And that is why I come up with the entrepreneurship training. But not just to stop at entrepreneurship training, ladies and gentlemen. Because I am a fundraiser, because I am an expert, a program manager, writing proposals is not my problem. Of course, I will ensure that beneficiaries of this project get small grants to start up a business. Yes, you can insult me for all you want. Keep it up. I don't put on red, so I don't insult. Ladies and gentlemen, the entrepreneurship training beneficiaries are going to be supported with small grants so that they are able to start many businesses. But we are not going to stop there. We will ensure that we provide capacity building trainings on ensuring that University of the Gambia students are acquainted with social problems like, of course, gender-based violence, climate change, women empowerment, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest struggles we face in the university today is for the fact that the bureaucracy and communication has been our greatest troubles. Under my leadership, as someone that believes in inclusion, as an advocate that has not, of course, worked within the Gambia, but outside the borders of the Gambia, I am going to introduce the UTG Convergence and Dialogue. Ladies and gentlemen, you would want to listen because this is going to benefit you. This policy is going to bring together stakeholders of the University of the Gambia. Why? Because as a student leader, sometimes you get a problem, reach out to the faculty officer, they direct you to the dean. The dean directs you to another stakeholder, to another lecturer, and that is why this policy is going to bring together the stakeholders from the governing council down to the sub-association leaders to ensure we sit down and discuss our problems as a university and come up with possible solutions. In this manner, every voice is represented, because the fact is, when students complain, sometimes lecturers are limited to the solutions. When lecturers complain, management might be limited to the solutions. But when we bring everybody together, this is what visionary leaderships look like. This is what leaders who care look like. This is what leaders of leaders look like. And that is me that is standing in front of you today. Bringing all the stakeholders of the University of the Gambia brings every voice on one table, discuss our problems, come up with solutions. Whatever we are discussing here today shall be discussed there. So elect me as your president and I get the solutions to the problems. Ladies and gentlemen, it's sad that when we talk about Donald Fadik, he said he is not concerned under his regime. But the success of a leader is of course measured by the success of the successor. And that means if you are able to respond through donors, how sustainable is that for the next council that is coming? Leaders must be visionary. You have to predict tomorrow and see what is coming. You must be concerned about sustainability, and that is why under my leadership we come up with what you call the strategic investment. Of course, with my finance group, Honorable Musa Baji, we are going to ensure that we do the right investment analysis and come up with an investment for the Students' Union to be able to yield their own funds. But let me make this clear. We will come up with the Students' Union cafeteria that is going to ensure that the union is able to generate funds and also provide food for students. Why? Because the fact is, in the school of BBA, 2 cafeterias, 1 is operating. In the school of SAS, 1 cafeteria. In the school of education, 2 cafeterias, 1 is operating. When you go to, of course, agri and environmental sciences, the cafeteria is not operating. In ICT, the cafeteria is not operating. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, student leadership is not about who is the loudest, but it's about how many voices of struggling students do you communicate when you speak. And I have seen firsthand that the fact is, it is not every student that can walk in the cafeteria and buy a plate of food at $100, buy a drink at $50, or even water at $30. That is why we are coming up with the student canteen. The student canteen will not just offer cheaper food, but it is going to ensure that you can buy your Nopal credit from there. You can do your web transactions from there. And that is what student leadership look like. Yes, yes. This is what it looks like when you are safeguarding the agenda. The enemy would not like that, but we will safeguard the agenda this year. Come tomorrow, we are going to announce your presidential candidate and the rest of the coalition candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that, of course, inviting former presidents is a very good initiative, but we are not going to undermine the other thousands of students that were not presidents and passed through the University of the Gambia. And that is why we are going to bring together the alumni. In fact, we will work with the Directorate of Students Affairs and ensure that we engage them. And in this, we are able to secure scholarship packages. In this, we are able to secure exchange programs. We are able to secure mentorships and funding for other programs. That is what leaderships look like. Establishing a whole alumni instead of inviting presidents alone. What about the others that have done well? What about the others that are still doing well within the Gambia and outside? Let's bring together vibrant university graduates and create, of course, an association that is going to function for the University of the Gambia and not just presidents. And that is my policy on alumni activation and engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, I came to this university in 2023, and the only leadership that has made impact in transportation, especially for moving students to Faraba, is the coalition leadership under the leadership of Kemo. He ensured that students do not pay $15, but they pay $10 to get to school. He ensured that the picking points are not only in Brikama, but they are in Westfield and traffic lights. He ensured that the number of buses were increased from 9, then to 15, and from 15 to 20. 2 years today, 20 buses, in fact, reduction because of minibus. What type of leadership have you been electing? We have been promised, of course, the procurement of buses. Where are they? Ladies and gentlemen, I came to this university 3 years ago. I have my colleagues that are still in their second year, because Not because they are not serious, not because they don't want to be in school, but because they are coming from underprivileged backgrounds and are not able to pay tuition fees. And as someone that have been supporting people, not just within the Gambia, but outside, I'm going to implement together with, of course, my incoming welfare minister, Madam Asia Dujala. We will implement the National Education Solidarity Pledge. The National Education Solidarity Pledge is going to bring together all musicians. In fact, one musician can do one fundraising show and get more than $1 million, and that means we are raising millions to, of course, ensure that students in the University of the Gambia that are not able to complete their studies, and of course, thanks to the coalition leadership under Kemo for introducing the 40% scholarship budget that others are celebrating themselves about today. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I stand before you not just as a candidate, but I stand before you as someone that is coming from the rural area of Basse Mansajang down to this stage. I must say I am grateful. Someone that is an orphan from an underprivileged family stands here today because of my passion to bring solutions to the problems that we face. And I am proud of myself because as a student leader, I have represented and delivered. As a qualified teacher, I have taught many students in the country. And of course, as a tutor, I have empowered students in BPA. Of course, as an advocate, I have empowered people not just within the Gambia, but even in the sub-region of Africa. So if it is about representation, no one is competent enough in this election than me as a president. Therefore, let's rally behind the coalition, because I cannot vote for somebody else when I have Cherno MB Jallo. I cannot vote for somebody else when I have Aliu Jallo. I cannot vote for somebody else when I have the man with the Dean's Award, of course, ML Keita. I cannot vote for somebody else when I have Asia to someone that has raised more than $1 million for DA. Someone that has raised millions for DA through the trade fair, and somebody else is bragging about the 200,000. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot vote for somebody else when I have Bakari. I cannot vote for somebody else when I have Victor, or when I have Musa, or when I have Emba. No way. Ladies and gentlemen, I raised more than 600,000 for the Global Platform UTG chapter. Some of them benefited from this program with food and everything. Someone else is bragging about a 300,000 for the Sosa week. I am not impressed. So therefore, let's walk tomorrow to Paraba or any other school and vote in the leadership that matters. And it is only the coalition that can do it. Thank you.
Yes, you can just do it. The convention is almost at the tail end. So let's allow the candidates to ask their questions. So Usman, you'll be given the chance to ask only 2 questions. And Basmila likewise, you'll be given the chance to ask 2 questions. Okay. There have been changes in terms of how many questions you are going to ask. You will be given the chance to ask 3 questions, likewise your opponent. Okay? So we start with you. And each question is 1 minute, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Fadera, I would want to give you a bonus question. I know you know the answer. Please, as someone that is aspiring to serve the University of the Gambia Students' Union, what is the motto of the Students' Union?
I expect you to know better, but I will give this platform an opportunity for you to apologize for false information. Because the 40% scholarship package was introduced by an alliance president in the name of Ibrahim Adamfa. Itka cafeteria, it local cafeteria is in use, and the cafeteria is in progress, as you all know. Those of us who eats or buy lunch at Utgsu will tell you that the cafeteria is. But like I said on Fine TV, you are very misinformed when it comes to leadership. Usman, the motto of UTG is very simple. It talks about dedication and service, and that is where my point with you is simple. I have a question for you. And the question reads, you said you're going to bring governing council on the doorstep of the students. And I want us all to listen to this question very well. Usman, as the presidential candidate, I want you to know the functions of the governing council and the composition of the governing council. Can you tell this August gathering, the two people that are in the governing council and they don't have voting right, they are only there as observers. If you are to represent the students' union, you should be able to know this.
Of course, I know, in fact, I can quote this section of the governing council. Section 13 of the Tertiary and Higher Education Act talks about the establishment of the governing council. And then, in fact, it talks about the composition, which consists of the chairman, it consists of the vice chancellor, it consists of a representative of the municipality, or the chairman of the area council, and again, a representative of the business community, someone that is landed with academics in the governing council. Apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, section 16 talks about the functions of the governing council, and it says it shall provide for the welfare and discipline of students. Okay, thank you. Someone that does not know the motto of the UTGSU wants to be your president. What a shame! The motto of UTGSU. All right. As a leader, we must focus on sustainability and ensuring that the next person that comes after you is successful. All your policies looks at begging for donations instead of generating income. Are you focused on sustainability, or you just want to come and spend and go?
Brothers and sisters, if you don't know, you contradict yourself twice. First you say section 13, when is section 16E? The video is there, please hold him accountable. And the composition of the governing council, listen to me. The chairman is Mr. Fane. The vice chairman is Dana Diab. You have the governor of West Coast region. You have Imam Babali. You have the president of the staff association. You have the president of the students' union. You have the permanent secretary Moas. You have permanent secretary Minister of Education. And you also have the director of planning of Moas. Brothers and sisters, the two people that don't have voting right is the staff association president and the director of planning. They are observers. Usman, you need to know these things. I told you this time without numbers in the interview. It's okay, Alpha, it's all right. You talk of defamation and defamation policy, and I make you understand in front of Fine TV host that there is what we call Data Protection Act. Usman, I don't blame you. You don't have a lawyer in your team. Usman, you don't have a lawyer in your team. Because if you have a lawyer in your team, you are going to know that Access to Information Act, no GSM operator will give you information of customers. I expect you to know these things. It takes only court order for
them to at least give you customers' information. Before I go and request for customers' information, I would use that opportunity